We're here each and every day at 8 a.m. for your viewing and listening pleasure as we come together to explore life. Why? Because that's all we're here for. We're here to explore and experience, the double E. That's all it is. Life is about exploring and experiencing. And when we stop exploring and experiencing, we leave this life. We leave this life because there's no other reason to be here. And when we stop exploring and experiencing, our body thinks it's done and it starts to deteriorate. Isn't that fascinating? Our body will serve us as long as we are using our body to create a greater life, a greater way of being. That's fascinating when you really break it down. So why is it that young people's bodies are so vibrant? Yeah, they're young, but they've also want to explore a lot. They got a lot to do with their bodies. You get older and you stop exploring this whole idea of retirement. You retire, what are you doing? You're doing nothing. Oh, you don't need a body to do nothing, do you? You need a body that's just going to flop down on the couch and do nothing. Think about that. When do we gain weight? When we're not active. What does it mean to be not active? It means we're not exploring. We're not experiencing life. So the body responds to that. So you can notice that my question today is, have you self-defined yourself? Or are you the accumulation of the opinions of others and what they want you to be? That's huge. And here's what I'm going to tell you. Most everything that most everyone is the opinions about what others have given them about what they should be, especially mom and dad. Our mom and dad said, you need to be a doctor. You need to be a lawyer. You need to do this. You need to be this. And you adopt those opinions and you make them the basis of who you become. So there's no self-defining going on there. It's other people defining who you are. And when other people define who you are, and you get past the ego's ability of, I need to feel approved. I need to feel approved by someone. Then you go, oh, this is really something else. It's not me. And then all of a sudden we get really down. We get depressed. We have anxiety, depression. Why? Unrealistic expectations. Why are they unrealistic expectations? Because they're not our own. They're the expectations of others. You weren't meant here to please other people. You were meant to be unique. You were meant to be you. But before you can be you, you've got to define who that is. That's the work of life. The idea of life is, how are you going to define who you are? The greatest tool that I found to do that is through my study with Dr. John Demartini. When I learned to understand that each of us has a hierarchy of values, and when you can determine those 3 to 5 things that are most important to you, they're not honesty, integrity. That's not what I'm talking about, values. Those are human traits. A value to me, as I understand it, is that which I can't wait to do, that I want to do more of, that there's a void in my life. I can always have more of it, or I don't have any of it, but I want more of it. That's big for me. And so I go on and I look at that and I go through the process. I also do the process for people. And I figured out what my values are. Number 1 is to be more aware. That's simple, just to be more aware. Number 2 is to teach. Number 3 is to build and connect with community. Number 4 is to learn about human behavior and spirituality. Number 5, personal health and well-being. Number 6, being financially comfortable and being able to do whatever I want when I want. I have 6 top values. When I choose to do something, I ask, does what I'm about to do serve those values? If it doesn't, and then I go about paying someone to do it, delegating it out, So I focus on what's meaningful to me. I'm defining who I am. I've defined myself as a teacher who teaches how to be aware, to experience and create a life filled with love and fulfillment. That's the main thing I do. Everything I do centers on that. Now, that's what I found for me. That's what's unfolded for me. And know that the hierarchy of your values, your top values, they change. At one time, mine was to be a great dad. My sons are mature men now. I don't need to be a dad. I do have a granddaughter, but it's not my top value. She's up there, but it's not my top 6. But when I'm with her, she becomes number 1. See, just because something's not a value doesn't mean in the moment of something you can't give your all to it if it gives you joy. Keep in mind, building community and relationships, that's part of my daughter, being my granddaughter. Teaching is about being with my granddaughter. Being aware is about being with my granddaughter. Being personal health is about being with my granddaughter. Why? Because when I play, I'm healthier. And what does not even a 3-year-old want to do? They want to play. Do you know who else likes to play besides a 3-year-old? We all do. But we have forgotten how to play. Think about that. Have you forgotten how to play? Do you put on masks and make make noises and stuff for your granddaughter if you got a granddaughter? I do. I got several masks that I put on to play with her, to confuse her, to bring joy into her life. Why? It's playing. And you know, if you play enough and you create an image in your play about who you want to be, and you fill in all the particulars of that image, and you really color it with many colors and many ideas, and you keep playing with that image, so at some point that image no longer is play, it becomes a belief that you've ingrained into your subconscious mind. And because it's a belief in your subconscious mind, all of a sudden you start living as if. And when you live as if, guess what? You will have that which you created in play. I've never said that way before. That just sort of popped out of me today. And I love how that is. I love how that is. So let me just make sure you know, I know you're out there. I know that Patricia's out there. I know Kai, Annette, RJ, Jessica, Young Bull is out there. Shelly, Angelica again, and John. Hey, if you're out there, check in. Let me know you're out there. Hey, if you got a comment about what I'm saying, love to see the comment, because that helps me take the conversation further. The basic premise of what I'm talking about today is, and this is about self-love. In order to be self-loving, you got to know who you are. Because if you don't know who you are, how do you love yourself? Good point. So in order to know yourself, don't you have to define yourself? Of course, you have to define yourself. Now the question is, have you done the defining, or have you subordinated yourself to the opinions of others and adopted their mental image for you? Yeah. There was a time when my mom and dad, I was a young dude, I was 15. And my mom and dad, what did they want? They wanted me to be a priest because they were Catholic. So what did they do? They sent me off to the seminary. I went to the seminary. 15 years old, I went to the seminary. Guess what happened? After that first year, they asked me not to come back. You know what I did? I'll tell you. I asked questions. I didn't accept their word. I said, that doesn't make sense to me. I want a better answer. I want to understand this differently. Questions are great. And see, I'll give you my definition of humble. My definition of humble is that I say to myself, I really don't know anything. Even though I think I do, I don't know anything. That leaves me what? Open. When you admit you don't know anything, it opens you up to greater ideas, greater ways of seeing life. Because guess what? Everything that we know, we've made up. We make up everything in our lives. It's all in our mind. It's all in our perception. It's the filter through which we look at life. So why not take the filter back and create your own filter and stop looking through the filter of other people's ideas of how you should see life? Good idea, I think. I am constantly redefining myself. Because guess what? I'm a teacher. I'm a minister of religious science. What does that mean? I teach spiritual principles and I prove them. And when I teach principles, I ask other people to prove them for themselves. I never ask people to buy what I say on blind faith. That's silly. I wouldn't do that. Why would I ask anyone else to do that? If meditation works, you should try it and prove that it works. I know it works for me. I don't know that it works for you. I meditate twice a day. Here's the other thing that I'm really big into. If you've been following me, you know, I'm really big into deep breathing, Wim Hof style. I think Wim Hof has got a great method that he brought out. I do that twice a day. Why? Because of the results I've gotten. Oh my God, it's so great to breathe deep. Number one, it centers you. Number two, it oxygenates your body. When your body's oxygenated, it gets rid of inflammation. So your body's able to be in a state of homeostasis in a much quicker and easier way. I proved that when I had surgery and the doctor said, hey, I went into the doctor. The doctor said, have you been taking your anti-inflammatories, meds? I said, no. And he looked at me and he says, well, wait a second. You're healing really, really fast. I said, yeah, I'm breathing. And he looked at me, what do you mean you're breathing? I said, I'm doing deep conscious breathing. And I know that when I do that breathing, the oxygen takes away the inflammation in my body. And he looked at me and he said, yeah, you're a pretty smart little whippersnapper, aren't you? And he's 20 some years younger than me, almost 25 years younger than me, this doctor. Doctors don't know everything. Let me say this, the person who knows your body better than anybody else is you when you become aware of it. Jessica says, most people have a different view of you than you do of yourself. Don't let others define you. Exactamundo. You're not here to please anyone. Let me give you that right off the top. You're here to be you and to feel a life that is fulfilling. You know what else you want? You want to feel love. There's the two things in life. That's it right there. That's all you want in life is you want to feel love and you want to feel fulfilled. So let me give you a secret. In order to feel love, you have to first accept yourself as you are. That's love. Acceptance and love are hand in hand. So when you accept yourself, you're getting the love you need, that you desire more than anything. Then what else do you want after you accept yourself? You want a life that is fulfilling. So you figure out what is it you love to do and you do it. And you never get tired of doing what you love to do. It may change, but you're doing what you love to do. That is a fulfilling life. So when you decide to leave this body and go to whatever is next, because I don't know, I'm studying near-death experiences right now, and I'm finding that fascinating. Fascinating. But when you leave your body and you've got that, let's call it a moment of judgment where you look back at your life and you can say, I experienced a lot of love and I did lead a very fulfilling life because I did what I wanted to do. I loved what I wanted to do. Life is good. So that's my talk for today. Boy, I've been going today. I went longer than ever. Holy garbanzo beans. Well, anyway, I gave you a bunch to think about. Hey, if you're on my YouTube channel or you're not on my YouTube channel, Lee Wallach, W-O-L-A-K. You should know my name by now. You're watching me. If you know it, go to YouTube and hit my subscribe button. I'm trying to get my subscribers to 9,000. I'm within a couple hundred. So I'm trying to get to 9,000 because the more subscribers, the more YouTube pushes the message out. And that's my goal, is to get this message so other people can take control of their lives and feel a life that is loved and fulfilled. Hey, I'm here every day at 8 a.m. I'm doing this because I love to, but also I want to give you all the wisdom that I've learned in my life so that maybe some of it might be relevant to you and you can use it to make your life even better. So with that in mind, no one says it to you today. I will. I love you and I accept you just as you are. Go create a great you. Aloha.